How's everybody doing? How the fuck is everybody? We're here with the great Joe Vigil. Joe's a independent comic creator from way back. Actually, he created Gunfighters from Hell, Dog, and a few other issues. But it's kind of crazy between Joe. You and your brother get confused a lot on what you guys created because you guys, your style is so close to close, and well, and plus, you both have the last name of Vigil, so
yeah, there's that. Yeah, our styles are pretty close because when we were growing up, we drew comic books from the time I was like 6 or 7 years old, maybe 8 years old, because Tim is 3 years younger than me. So yeah. So I would draw a page, we'd make a story, then I'd draw a page, then he would draw a page. And that's how we would go through the day. I'd draw one, he'd draw one. And we did that for a long time.
That's incredible. Like, I wish I could have grown up that way. Because you had, I mean, what it sounds like to me is like you guys were pushing each other to get better. You know what I'm saying? Like, was it kind of a competition between you guys to see who could do the better page?
Yeah. But I didn't see, Tim really got into comic art, like where he would try to draw like Neil Adams or Bernie Wrightson or somebody.
Yeah.
I never did that. I love Jack Kirby. I love Russ Heath, guys like that, who I love those guys. But I never tried to draw like them. I had my own style and I did my own thing. Where Tim was actually, look at his art now. It's fucking incredible, man. But that's how he learned. He learned from looking at comics, and it must have just burned into his head because his early stuff would look like Adams or Wrightson. And then he got his own style as he kept going. Yeah. Whereas I just never did that.
So you just always drew what you loved, and you wasn't
right. I drew what I want, how I saw it myself, what I loved. We always drew we drew a lot of barbarian stuff. We were all into Frazetta and stuff.
I noticed that. And that's one thing that drew me to you guys, because I was basically, my whole technique and style and everything is basically based off of heavy metal. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like Heavy Metal magazine. And I noticed, and I think that's why I was drawn to you and Tim, because you and Tim don't hold back on the gore, or, y'all aren't, you guys don't care about showing nudity or anything. I mean, it's not pornographic. Well, I don't want to say that
sometimes.
Because of EO.
Yeah. Faust too.
Yeah, Faust was brutal.
Yeah. EO though. EO pushed those boundaries, man. There was no boundary in EO.
Yeah.
I wish that book would have went on. Those guys should have kept doing that. That thing was incredible.
The artwork in it was fucking phenomenal. I love that, but
it was.
But that's the trip to me, is that you guys went from what you're saying. I mean, you guys had two different paths. Like Tim was like, I'm gonna be this like a great comic artist and be like, Neil Adams and stuff like that, and trying to incorporate their style into his work. And you just did what you wanted to do, but in the end, your styles are so close together. You know what I'm saying? Like it's in some pieces, I actually have to look like really, really hard to see who did that piece. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like I know in Gunfighters, I think Tim did some of the covers and you did all the interior work.
I did all the interior work, and Tim he didn't draw any of the covers. He inked them.
Okay.
Like this, that fold out cover. Can you see that?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. I drew it, and then he inked it, and then he would find a couple of pages, two or three pages in each book, and ink them. But that was what he did on Gunfighters.
Okay. Yeah, because his
but you can tell his inking style a mile away compared to any of the other guys.
Yeah. Did you ink any of the pages in Gunfighters, or was it?
Yeah. I inked some, but especially in the last book, because like I told you, all the inkers kind of bailed because it was just way too much. So me and Tim pretty much inked the last one.
Well, that's the curse of having a lot of detail in your work, I guess. You know.
Oh yeah, man, they don't want to do that.
I
don't
personally
blame them, kind of.
Me neither. You know, because I mean, to us, because we drew it, it's not hard for us to ink a page in a day, you know, or 3 or 4 hours or something like that. But like, I can see people, you know, coming in and trying to ink your work, or, you know, and it's just like right off the back, they're overwhelmed. They're like, fuck you. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And that's exactly what they said too, man. They shit themselves. They fuck this. And then, we got to find someone else, or I got to do it. I even had printers do that on me.
Seriously? Jesus Christ, dude. That's crazy. Where did Gunfighters come from? Because that seems to be the series you're known for, right? Gunfighters and Dog. I'm not too familiar with Dog, but you know, I do know Gunfighters. You're still producing Gunfighters today, right?
Right. I was gonna do another Dog. We were gonna do it, but that fell through. Yeah, Gunfighters I'm still working on. I got we did the original Sin, the prequel, 3 issues, and now we're doing a 12-issue sequel, Sinbuck.
Yeah.
And I'm on issue 8.
Yeah.
And I'm about halfway through issue 8, but I think I'll probably, pandemic actually helped me because it made me sit down and work more. And I think I'll have this thing done by next summer.
You know what? That's one thing I've been hearing from a lot of people, including myself, is that the lockdown has changed nothing for creatives.
No, because we work for ourselves. We're always pretty much alone when you're working. Yeah, I mean, if you're a writer, this got to be a kind of a blessing for you.
Yeah, like I don't have to go out.
Yeah, and we did. Oh my God, we drank a lot of beer.
So Gunfighters, where'd that come from? Like, what caused you to create Gunfighters? Was it?
When I saw the Sergio Leone films, 4 Few Dollars More, Fistful of Dollars, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, I didn't think of them as Westerns. I actually thought of them as gods, because nobody shoots like that. Nobody takes that much punishment. And the people that were in the towns were almost like, it was like, how do I say it? Like Homer's writing when he was writing about Ulysses and the gods. You know, they were the humans, and Eastwood and those guys were gods, and they were battling for the earthly plane. And that's what it came right to me when I was seeing these. So I was in a Eppies one time, and I drew the first Gunfighter on oh, look at that.
Hi, Joe.
Hey, man, what's up?
Nice to meet you, man.
Oh,
I know this guy. He's a complete scumbag, really.
Brian.
But yeah.
Joe's in the middle of telling us how much he loves Sergio Leone's films.
All right. Here, I'll
please,
tell
Joe,
you
continue.
real quick. And I drew the first Gunfighter on a napkin in an Eppies. And I don't know who owns that now, but someone owns that thing. And so I wrote a story based on the myth that I thought. And it was so fucking depressing and so just mean. My mom read it and actually said, please don't publish that. And then I had other people, like my writing partner, Dave Barber. He read it and said, oh my God, man, you can publish this thing. And I said, well, why don't you help me? Because it was only a short story. I said, help me. Let's make a black comedy instead of this disgusting foul thing I just wrote. And he goes, all right.
Wait, Gunfighters is supposed to be a comedy?
Gunfighters is a comedy, yeah. We got grabber snitch.
Dude, yeah, it's so over the top.
Yeah.
Everything in it is so completely exaggerated that you can't take it seriously. I want to say it's like you
I
understand.
thought it was fucking amazing, dude.
No. I'm not articulating.
No, I never seen it as a comedy though. I seen it as like
You
an
never saw it
adventure.
as a comedy?
No, I thought it was an
Grabber
adventure.
Snitch, the worm guy, we made him almost like a Buddy
No.
Hackett.
Yeah.
He was always cracking jokes. Yeah, exactly. Him.
I did see him as comedy relief. You know,
Yeah,
definitely.
And the guy in the in issue 2, what's his name? The little demon that has slaughtered everybody in the bar in issue 2.
Yeah. And then he
takes a shit all over everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's like, and then you see like insects and shit crawling around like in his.
No, there was some funny
feces.
parts in it. Like as far as the guy that was being eaten alive by the parasite, like when they're digging up the casket in the middle of the desert, and then shoots, and then she shoots a dude, and the dude dies on the guy's face, like his ass is on the guy's face. Great, dude.
Oh, you're skipping over to Sinbuck.
Yeah, that's Sinbuck. Yeah, like I see it all as the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
he falls on the guy's face, and the guy's mumbling for him to get off. Yeah,
don't let this guy ride my face. He fucking stinks.
Yeah. I mean, so that's what I'm saying. When I'm saying that, like, you can't take it seriously. It's so over the top that it goes into satire.
Yeah,
exactly.
I get that. Yeah. But
yeah, we meant it as a black comedy because
Otherwise,
when I first wrote it, like I said, it was very depressing and very. I have a real bad view of humanity, so yeah, we had to lighten it up. But I don't like. I'll tell you something I don't like. In the last issue of Gunfighters, I don't like the end. I had it where the world ended.
Yeah.
But then everybody started talking about sequels, and I said, shit, man. And we left, you know how it ends.
Yeah.
They all go back into hell, and everything's on fire, but people are alive and stuff. But Mendoza was supposed to be all burned up and like freakish by the end, because he walks through the fire. He's on fire when I wrote it, but they changed it.
Well, you see, here's the problem, Joe. This friend of mine, he sent me issues 2, 3, and 4.
That's it.
I'm gonna send you Joe's website. You can get them straight from Joe from the website.
You can get them from me right now, because I got 1 and I got 5.
Oh, hell yeah!
A lot of people thought that Joe wasn't creating comics anymore. Like they thought like he just him and Tim don't create anymore. And I was like, that's not true, dude. Like Joe's still creating like Gunfighters in the form of Sinbuck. And
nice.
Yeah, and also I'm gonna plug your website too.
Yeah, please.
You know, in a minute. That way people who do want to get back issues, you can go to Joe's website and go ahead and get a hold of those issues.
You know what you should do? Right, maybe you should give them my if they want to order just order from me, because the website, I don't know what the hell's going on that. But you saw it where you ordered one of the books and it came up as another book.
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell that is. I got to have somebody go through that website. So it would probably be better if you just contacted me.
I will.
You can go on the website.
I'll put the link in there, and I'll put your Facebook, or your.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that way they can get in touch with you. That way they can go to the website and see what books are available, and then get in touch with you. And it's Wild Angel Publishing.
Wild Angels Publishing. What is it? Wild Angels Publishing. I guess that .com.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me look.
I got it. It's right here.
Okay.
Had Preston discussed with you the possibility of launching like an Indiegogo or something?
I was actually going to talk to him about that. I want to hear some more about Joe and how Joe created Gunfighters, how you got started in comics.
Seriously.
And
look at those people.
You know, because your work is incredible. Yeah.
It's awesome.
And I love the bullets. Like the bullets are living things.
The faces on them.
They got teeth and they crawl into the guns, you know, so you never run out of ammunition.
They crawl into you. too. They'll eat right through you.
I love that, dude.
It's very nightmarish. There's so much nightmare imagery, and the humor takes the edge off.
I agree. I agree with that. The humor really helps.
Yeah. Otherwise,
that was Dave. That was Barber. He. If there's humor in it, if it's real nasty, funky humor, that's me. But if he came up with most of the humor, and it helped.
Yeah, it balances the story out. It's like I don't know if you've read the manga Berserk, but it's incredible. And the author and artist introduces a fairy into the story like halfway through, and you're like, what's a fairy doing in this? And you realize the reason the fairy is there is because it's Puck. He's the comic relief. Because otherwise the story would be so bleak, you'd start to just get depressed reading it, and you don't want to feel depressed reading a comic book.
Well, I can tell you this right now. One of the creepiest things about Gunfighters was your depiction of Satan.
Snakes.
Yeah, that was the creepiest thing I've ever seen, and I was like, I'm not a big fan of snakes. So it was extra creepy to me. I was like, what a completely awesome version of Satan.
It was gonna be rats. I at first was gonna do it as rats turning into him, and that was too hard to draw. So
I love the snake. Snakes
yeah, awesome. Yeah. It's a very original depiction of hell and Satan and demons, and that's always a hard thing to do, to create like an original view of hell. And yet I keep seeing artists doing it, and Joe, you're one of them.
Well, Joe,
my vision of
amazing
hell,
stuff.
A lot of not. What am I trying to say? I studied a lot of satanic books, witchcraft books, and things like that. And then, because a lot of this is based, well, most of it's based on the Bible and what was going on.
Yeah.
And so I don't know where my image of hell is like Blade Runner. The city in Blade Runner is a character, and hell had to be a character. It had to be alive.
I love that. I love the way you're describing that, like as hell being a separate, like an entity,
it's like a living entity.
Yeah.
Right.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just fantastic work, and I just love these covers. Look at
Me too, dude. Those covers. Unfortunately, Joe told all of those.
Like the stick gun?
Yeah. Oh,
the what? Oh, that one. Yeah, that's where she's blasting those guys in the cemetery place.
Yeah, it's just it's beautiful work, man.
I love that.
It's like Preston sent this to me because he knew I would like get off on it. He's just like, oh, I got something for your ass. Here,
I got extra issues. I got extra issues of Gunfighters. And if any of my friends are into stuff like that, I'm like, hey, go check this out. Because like you, I was raised on Clint Eastwood movies, like spaghetti westerns.
Right.
Oh,
and you can't not like those. If you don't like spaghetti westerns, something is seriously wrong with you.
I agree. I agree. Those movies are just good for the heart, man. It's like when I'm depressed, I watch Hammer horror movies and
there you go.
Yeah.
I'll plug in a Hammer horror. I'll plug in Hammer horror before I plug in anything else.
Right. Exactly. It's just good for the heart.
Maybe Mario Bava film.
Oh, I'm such a huge Mario Bava fan.
Oh, fuck yeah.
No
I color
idea.
based on his color.
His lighting palette.
Right. That's how I color.
We were talking about this before the show. Like Joe does everything. Like he does everything from pencils to inks to colors, and he writes and publishes all his own work.
Well, I don't write them now. Dave does.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't write. Our process when we write is I'll write the outline, Then Dave will write the script. Then he sends it back to me. If there's something I don't like, we'll talk it over and see if we change it. But most of the time, I like what Dave writes.
Does he still help you out with
Gunfighters
Sinbuck?
was different. Yeah, he's writing Sinbuck.
Okay, nice.
Actually, he's lettering it now because they came out with that comic lettering format. I don't know what it's called, but because I was doing the lettering too.
Holy
And I
shit.
said, fuck this shit, man. Then he's doing that. So man, that's a big help.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I can't even imagine what you guys went through, like doing hand lettering back in the day. Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that.
I have to say though, there's something about this book that's very, very triggering.
What do we got here?
I'm feeling.
Is that Gila? Yeah.
I'm seeing lady parts.
No, I don't know if you know what's going on nowadays, Joe, but nowadays people like society is telling creators that you shouldn't show big boobs. Real women don't have big boobs.
Yeah, no sorry, that's not going to happen on my book.
Absolutely.
Do you see Hex wrote a question here? Hex Harper.
Fulci or Argento? Oh, it's Argento.
I'm an Argento fan.
I don't like Fulci. I mean, I love them all. Fulci was, he went for the gross out a lot, but I still find his movies, some of them are fantastic. I think Zombie's really good, but that's always the question: Fulci, Argento, or Bava. I go Bava, Argento, Fulci.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Cities are illegal.
Cities are illegal. I'm triggering. I can't
That's another
that.
thing that I love about your books too. Like you and Tim, you guys don't give a fuck.
Oh,
it's just like I'll do what I want. Like, nobody's going to tell me what I can or can't do. So
yeah, there's like a real fuck you attitude.
You know what you know who we
yes,
we were big fans of, because when I was a little kid, you could go into head shops, and they had all the undergrounds there. So we were massive fans of Corbin, Richard Corbin.
Oh, cool!
And they did anything you wanted to see, and yeah, we were little kids, and we're like, yeah, okay.
Oh, Joe. I'm telling you, I was lucky enough to grow up in the 70s and have an older brother, and so he would go to the head shop and he would bring me, and I would be all over the comic books, and I'd never seen anything like it before.
Oh,
he
didn't know
that you could actually do that.
You couldn't. They would
but here were people that were doing it.
Yeah, you see, that's how I felt about heavy metal. When I first got a hold of Heavy Metal magazine in the 70s, I was like, it's something I had never seen before in my life. I was like, I was like, oh yeah, you can do this?
Yeah. You couldn't do it in the United States.
Yeah.
You could do it overseas. And Metal Hurlant, I guess, was a lot different than what we saw.
Yeah.
But yeah, it changed. I mean, I think Tim and I didn't have sexual violence in my books, but Faust and EO pretty much, I don't care what history buff or history comic buff says, Faust and EO broke the back of the censorship in comics. I mean, yeah, there was a couple of comics that kind of pushed the line in the comics code. Yeah. I remember I saw the first blood ever in a Daredevil, and he had a little blood on his lip. And I went, oh, look, shit.
In the Conan comics, I always loved how the blood was black.
Yeah,
right.
He made it black.
And he hit somebody with a sword, and you just see like that, like the sword moving, and the guy going, arg, and it'd be like a little bit of blood. But it would always be black, yeah.
Yeah, it had to be black. Like I said, that Daredevil, it had red blood on his lips, and it was shocking to me. But yeah, I think Faust broke the back of the censorship, because everybody started doing shit like that after that.
Faust was fucking incredible. EO,
Oh, yeah. EO
EO
was,
just was off the charts.
yeah, there was nothing like EO.
No.
Nothing.
No, like EO, like fucking. It seems like. Did you work on EO too, or was it just Tim?
I did some backgrounds in EO, like the scene in the bar where the mutant thing, they have the big battle. I did the backgrounds there.
Yeah, like because EO, it's like you guys, the gloves were off, dude. Like you and Tim were like, we're gonna show you guys something. Cracking your knuckles.
That had nothing to do with me. That was Tim and what was his writer's name? Franz Hinkle, I think was his last name.
Well, isn't it true that the writer quit because his wife got a hold of a script or a book of EO?
Oh yeah,
just like you're not allowed to write this anymore, and that was it. That was the end of EO.
Now you see, I read Faust, but I never read EO.
Ooh, you're in for a treat.
Yeah,
the artwork,
I like hearing that.
It's awesome, but it's not. It's never going to get finished. So that's what sucks. Because I thought that was I like Gothic Knights. I like EO.
Oh, the artwork in Gothic Knights was fucking incredible too.
See, as far as I'm concerned, Gothic Knights is the best artwork in comics ever.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't care what anyone says.
Did you have anything to do with Gothic Knights, or is that all Tim on?
No, I didn't have anything to do with that.
You see, I like that. I like that there's no animosity between you and Tim. Like you guys have like a healthy competition vibe to you, but like you're not jealous of each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that. That's really badass. Yeah,
that is cool.
My brother, shit, I can beat his ass, but he's a great artist.
That's a spirit, man. That's a spirit.
Yeah, Joe works out like crazy. Like he's always posting pictures of him like fucking at the gym and shit. Like,
yeah, man, I gotta get rid of the dad bod.
Oh man, and what?
Dad bod and.
It's like once you hit 40, man.
The what?
I said, once you hit 40, man, those pounds do not drop off easy.
You know what was weird? I'll tell you something, because we've always been pretty good athletes. Tim was an actual, like a super athlete. Him and my best friend were like super athletes.
Get out.
I had to work to be good. Oh, fuck yeah, they were.
Interesting.
But I actually, by the time I was 48, I was probably in the best shape of my life. I hit my 500-pound bench press when I was 48.
God damn.
And
congratulations.
Yeah, I don't hit that now. But yeah, so that kind of helped me a lot, being that I kind of crave working out.
Yeah.
You know, riding the bike or something keeps me sane, because when you're drawing all the time, you're one place, you're focused on one thing, and man, I do not have the temper for this shit. But yeah,
I do that too. I agree with you. Like fucking, because we work behind a desk and we're so focused, it's almost like going to work out relieves some of that tension that you build up.
Relieves a lot of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I always say that exercise isn't like medicine. It is medicine.
It is, man. I agree with that. If you do, and you don't got to do a lot of it either. You do a half hour a day or an hour every 3 days. Yeah. You'll notice how much better you feel, how much better you look.
Yeah, it's like masturbation.
Mood.
Yeah. Oh, wait, masturbation. I do that a lot too.
And it's good for your prostate.
Yeah. My eyesight. Oh wait, no, I'm going blind. Oh, yeah.
I go like I spend a lot of money on razors.
Oh really? I just pluck.
I go to the dollar store, man. They work good enough.
So remember, awesome, fellas, people in the chat, it's good for your prostate. So wank away.
I can only imagine the reference material you guys had on the side for Gunfighters and fucking EO and all of that shit.
You know, a lot of a lot of my reference material got fucked up in a flood in Sacramento, and I lost a shitload of books. I lost a whole bunch of stuff. We'd make the what are they called? Not crypts, but
Morgue files.
yeah, morgue files, right?
Yeah.
And I had tons of those. They all got fucked up.
I still, I still use morgue files, but I store them on my computer. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well
And,
yeah. Now you're right. I got a lot of stuff on the computer, and even then though, this computer right here crashed, and I lost all of them.
Holy shit.
So I've had to start over again. But well, it's easy to find again.
Now there's other titles that you have out there. Like we've only probably just scratched the surface when we're talking about Gunfighters and Dog. I know
did a barbarian comic called Fritz Whistle.
Yeah.
That was a barbarian who ends up on an island full of vampires.
Oh, that's fucking amazing.
Sold.
What's the name of that? I need
Sold. Ching, ching, ching.
You still produce that one?
Seriously, that sounds
No,
badass.
I don't think that was one of the first things I ever did. I don't think I have any anymore. I don't know where they'd be at. Maybe Broken Halos has some. Yeah, I've done a lot of books, but like I said, we worked for Avatar, Verotic. I can't remember. A guy named Glenn Hammonds, who was a friend of mine, and Tim's. He was a big fan, and he made big encyclopedia-like books on everything we've done. And they're around here somewhere, but I can't remember everything I've done. I mean, basically focus on the Gunfighter series and Dog.
What about Broken Halo?
Oh yeah. I did Broken Halo. I did the main book of that company.
Yeah.
And that was kind of fun. Tim inked that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I loved is that in Gunfighters you provided a little bibliography. You
yeah, we should have kept that up. We only did that in one book, and we should have kept up the Satanic Dictionary, because there's a lot of stuff going on, and you probably could have used that.
Shit, I thought
because I took it straight out of a Satanic Dictionary. It was straight out of it.
And books on demonology.
Yes.
Yeah.
Demonology. We didn't make up demons in that. They were true demons.
You say I like that.
We're doing the same thing. Yeah.
Brian does his research big time on all of that stuff. You know. And
I've been dusting off all of my, because that's one of the I've got friends who are like into like ritual magic and stuff like that. I'm somebody that's always been fascinated in the occult, but like won't go anywhere near it. Like even like a Ouija board, I'm like, nope, keep that shit away from me, right? So, but
I had a Ouija board.
Did you?
You can still buy them.
Oh yeah, I got rid of it. Huh?
You can buy it.
Yeah, you can get them at Walmart. I'm pretty sure.
Hasbro, man.
Yeah.
Hasbro.
Demon Big Satan.
And like the Book of Enoch, for instance, like this has been
the Book of Enoch
into. Like and then of course, gotta have my Milton.
Do you got your Necronomicon around there somewhere?
Like the one that Colin Wilson did? Yeah.
Brian's got a whole.
I got that over there somewhere.
Right there, man. Ta-da!
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, it makes an appearance.
It
makes an appearance in Richard Stanley's new Color Out of Space movie.
I saw it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I liked. Actually, I'm not a big. He was a good director, but I liked Color Out of Space.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best Lovecraft movie so far, but
I almost didn't watch it because Mandy pissed me off so much. I was like, oh,
you didn't like Mandy?
I hated that fucking movie.
Oh,
it drove me nuts.
I loved it to pieces. Was it too slow?
I wanted to just kick my screen in. It looked good. I'll tell you that. It looked
gorgeous.
Looked good, but it was I want to know how he figured out how to smelt steel, make his little blade, and all that shit in one day.
Oh yeah, well,
Google.
No.
I'm trying to make
the stupidest shit I ever saw.
I'm trying to make excuses. It's like, no, well, he's being like David Lynchian. It's just, well, I mean, he did a movie before that called Beyond the Black Rainbow, which
Yeah,
is,
I know that's a good movie.
that's a very good movie.
Yeah,
And,
it's a good film.
excellent, right? It's like
Yeah.
Panos Cosmatos. It's like you watch that and you think, wow, this guy really likes David Cronenberg, but it's not like he was actually taking anything directly. And when I watched Mandy, I thought, wow, he really likes David Lynch.
He liked Lynch. I'll go along with that. I don't like a lot of Lynch's stuff. After Blue Velvet, he kind of lost me.
Yeah, I mean, he's always hit or miss. When he misses, though, when he whiffs, boy, whew, he whiffs hard.
Yeah.
But when he hits the ball too, it's out of the park. Like I thought the new Twin Peaks was just.
Oh yeah, New Twin Peaks was great, and I always liked Fire Walk with Me. I thought everybody didn't like that movie, and I love that movie. But I didn't like Lost Highway. I didn't like Mulholland Drive. I was like falling asleep in this shit. Oh God,
It's like most of the modern DC movies.
I can't take that shit. I cannot take those. I don't even like the Marvel movies that much. They're okay, but I don't know.
They've worn out their welcome for me, sort of. Well, not sort of. They're just, I'm at the point now where it's just like they're just throwing crap at the screen.
I agree.
And it's like character or just, afterthoughts.
Yes,
Here's
sir.
Jack Kirby style double page.
Yep.
Spread.
Well, that's one thing I can say about Gunfighters is that Joe never held back on the blood. Like he's very generous with the exit wounds.
Yeah, boy.
The manager of Insane Clown Posse, he came up to a table at a convention. I think it was at San Diego, one of the San Diego conventions, and said, and hold up that book and said, "The bloodiest book ever made." You are okay, dude. I like you.
That's awesome. A little bit of a spoiler here, but
it's
great.
There's the Red Groovy on tap.
It's we took that from, or I did. I took that from the beginning of the Wild Bunch when they have the shootout in the town. Wait till Sinbuck, though. I'm going to give you a spoiler, or not really a spoiler, but in the second to the last, or is it I'm on 8, so it'll be book 10. We go for the end of the Wild Bunch in it. There's you're not going to believe this shit. You think it's bloody now?
Nothing.
It's an entire book, the entire 16 pages of her with the 50 caliber.
Oh my God, man! To me, that's one of the one of the great classic images is Warren Oates just going buck wild with that Browning machine gun.
It was awesome.
But it blew people's minds. Like evidently, I think it was Roger Ebert. He said he was at a screening, like an early screening that was like specifically just for critics, and that he was there with Peckinpah and William Holden and Warren Oates. And afterwards, the critics came up to them and were like, "You should be ashamed of yourselves."
Oh, that movie got a lot of backlash, but the smart critics knew what it was. It was brilliant. It was my favorite movie of all time. And
excellent choice.
Here's a good story. My mom loved William Holden, thought he was the greatest actor ever. And she had just bought a brand new Barracuda, and we're tooling down all three, me, my brother, and my sister. And we're little. And she hears this, the Wild Bunch, there's a Western with William Holden. Let's go see it. And we go, okay. We go in that movie theater. And we walked in at the train scene. And when this movie was over, my mom is completely dead silent. And she goes, "Oh, okay, it's time to go." And me and my brother go, "We're watching that again, Mom."
Yes. Hell yeah.
She had to sit through that again. She went to sleep, child. She hated that movie. Like, God.
Nirvana.
It was like I had seen God or something. Oh my God.
if anybody moves, kill them.
Kill them.
Oh my
Yep.
goodness! I saw it. I remember when it came out on VHS because you couldn't see it on television unless it was like heavily edited.
Oh
And,
yeah,
like,
did you
who
see
wanted to
it when
watch
it was
that
on
shit?
Channel 10? It was on CBS, and we're waiting. We're waiting for this thing. Now you'd seen it. They had edited the shootout in the town.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting. Oh, they can't screw up the end. They can, and it was like this 5-minute shootout was about 30 seconds, and it was over. I was like, oh my god. Okay. And I'm with you. I got the VHS. I got the laser disc. I got the CD. I got the Blu-ray. I got them all.
Everything but the 8-track.
Yeah. I didn't get
man.
the Super 8 reel.
Yeah, there you go. Oh man, yeah. Oh god, I love me some Sam Peckinpah. And like when that came out on VHS, I just remember just being like in awe, because finally you got to see this movie. And I think it was Pan and Scan. I don't recall if it was.
I think the VHS, the first one was full screen. They hadn't gone to letterbox yet.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, Pan and Scan is crap, but still it's like it was all you had. But at least all the violence was intact. And the violence is like is important to that movie. It's not like it's just superfluous.
They didn't just throw it in.
No.
Peckinpah, when he does violence, he thinks about
absolutely.
That's how I learned to draw blood, was from that movie.
No kidding.
No, that's not a joke.
I believe you.
I studied blood the way, because they used to use Caro syrup and peanut butter.
Yeah.
So it would make that thick, ropey looking blood.
Yep, with the bullet squibs.
Yeah.
Whereas like in the Sergio Leone movies, of course, they would just twist and fall. You wouldn't ever see any blood.
Good, the bad, and the ugly. The only blood I can remember is when when Eastwood shoots that. They're in the town and they had met up with Lee Van Cleef's group, and he shoots the one guy point blank, and they find the guy in a wheelbarrow, his body, and it's got that note taped to it. But you see a bullet hole in the guy's stomach, and it's a stomach, not his shirt, and the blood running down. And I went, oh shit, they showed some blood in here. Because they hardly ever showed blood.
Yep. Yeah. What was so controversial about Fistful of Dollars was that you saw people being shot, and normally it's like you'd have an image of somebody shooting a gun, and then you would cut to an image of somebody like clutching their chest and falling. But that was the first time that somebody had like the gun and the people that were getting shot in the same shot.
Oh yeah, that's at the when they're sitting on that fence and he blows them off the fence. It's awesome.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
Do you think they held back on the blood because of the US release of those movies? Like, because they wanted it to be
they were still super violent.
Yeah.
But
I remember The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, Hang 'em High, and all of those movies.
Hang 'em High is not Italian. Hang 'em High is American. How dare you? How dare you?
Clint Eastwood.
Ted Post. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And then there's Sergio Corbucci, Sergio Salima. Basically, if you're going to watch an Italian Western, pick one that's like directed by a guy named Sergio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The original Django.
But I think back then it was like the amount of blood you had in the movie would affect the rating too, wouldn't it? Like as far as
it would affect the rating here.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, back then, super violent movies were still rated G. As long as you didn't say the word fuck or show a titty, you were good. And that's the truth.
That's fucked up. You're right. You're absolutely right. Like it was. It's not like it is now, where you can have a PG-13 or a PG movie.
PG-13 is a joke.
Yeah, it is.
We got. Now you watch Dracula's Risen from the Grave. Rated G here. Dracula takes a stake to the chest, blood gushing out of him. Oh yeah, shit, man. We were little kids. We would stand up in the theater like I was at an opera. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that was one thing about Hammer films. Films never cut back on the gore. They were like,
no.
they sometimes had to because they had strict censors in England.
Oh, very much so.
Would
Very
make oh yeah, the censors there were ridiculous.
They would make 3 different cuts of the film. There would be the British cut, then there would be the American cut, which would have more violence, and then there'd be the Japanese cut.
Yeah.
The Japanese cut.
The Japanese cut would be the most hardcore. But it's crazy that you mentioned that scene, Joe, because we were literally just watching that exact scene on a stream I was on just like before this about where we're talking about Hammer movies. And
Right.
I sent my friend Drew that clip and was like, dude, play that clip. Where Preston, if you've never seen it, Christopher Lee's Dracula, he gets staked by an atheist. And evidently that's
all of the Hammer Dracula movies.
Have you ever seen Dracula's Risen from the Grave?
I've seen all of them. Yeah. I mean,
okay, because then you know that
I'm a huge Hammer fan. Like, you know, I actually in one of the paintings I did, I went ahead and I used the Hammer's version of the Wolfman in it.
Werewolf, man, that's the greatest werewolf ever.
Oh, is it? I mean, especially back then. You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy is there's very few werewolf movies now that can compete with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but that movie has a lot going on just besides being a werewolf movie. There's a lot of shit going on in that.
Yeah, there's not enough werewolf in Curse of the Werewolf.
It's probably true. I mean, probably my favorite werewolf movie. But yeah, they needed to show him a lot more. They kind of rushed the end once
they
he
really
breaks
did.
out of jail.
It's such a fantastic makeup.
Like Godzilla, you'd only see like 10 minutes of Godzilla throughout the whole movie.
And that Japanese Godzilla, you know, when they made the new Godzilla and everybody's bitching about, you don't see him enough. Watch the original films.
Yeah.
You see him once in the beginning. Then they go into their usually gangster plot, and then they come back, and then there's the end.
It's like dating a shy, slutty girl.
Hey.
Oh, Hex Harper in the chat says, I'm still sad about Morricone. Yeah, me too. I actually had a ticket to see him performing like live with an orchestra in New York City about like 4 or 5 years ago, and unfortunately the show was canceled. And because evidently Morricone like slipped a disc in his bag.
Hex. Did you see this? Hex. Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah, it is. Dog Soldiers is excellent.
Yeah.
Dog Soldiers is excellent.
Even though they used traditional makeup for the werewolves,
yes.
And they pulled it off, even though the werewolves seemed a little stiff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that movie is so well directed, and movie is so well written and so well directed. It's great.
That fight scene at the end between the soldier and the werewolf was fucking epic, dude. When they're in the kitchen.
yeah. Fantastic.
So what were you talking about, Eno?
Oh, Morricone. I still actually, like, the show was canceled, but I couldn't bring myself, and the money was automatically refunded, but I could not bring myself to throw out the ticket.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, look at it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was just like, shit. I didn't get to see Ennio Morricone, but I had a ticket to see Ennio Morricone. So
I don't think I've seen. I mean, I've been to a lot of concerts, but I don't think I've seen guys that have written. Like I would have liked to have seen Goblin in concert.
Oh, awesome!
I would like to see. Yeah, I would have liked to see Eno. I saw John Williams in concert. They did a Star Wars like tribute concert in Sacramento. That was cool.
Oh, that's kick-ass. Yeah, I saw Goblin in New York City, and they were supposed to do a reunion show at this convention in Tarrytown, but evidently they had friction, and instead it was like Claudio Simonetti showing up with his new band, Demonia. But
really?
Yeah. So people were disappointed, but it was still a pretty good show, but not as good as the Goblin show.
Oh no, Goblin, man, that would have been awesome.
Oh,
I watched Deep Red again last night. That soundtrack is so awesome.
Oh God, at the keyboards, fucking crazy, man. Have you ever seen that, Preston?
Deep Red?
Yes.
No, I
Profondo
haven't seen
Rosso. It's the best giallo.
Giallo?
The giallo. Giallo is an Italian word. It means yellow.
Yellow.
Because I think the paperbacks, the pulps that they're based on had like yellow covers, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so they're basically kind of like slasher movies, but they're more mysteries, than anything. So it's like a horror, Italian horror subgenre, but Deep Red is by far the nastiest. The murders in that are freaking brutal. And to like this pounding a rock soundtrack by Goblin.
Oh God.
Just,
all right.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta write that down.
Yeah, man. You need that. Yeah, your life is not complete without that.
You want to see that and Tenebrae if you're going to watch any of because I consider Tenebrae as giallo.
It is.
And Tenebrae is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is. And
everybody considers Suspiria his masterpiece, but I'm going with Tenebrae.
That's an interesting pick. I mean, I guess I would go with Suspiria, but I also Inferno I think is fantastic.
Oh it's a great movie. Just doesn't make any sense.
No. I mean, that's one of the things I love about Italian horror, though. They would often take logic and just go out the window, so it makes their horror films more nightmarish.
Inferno did that 13,000% more. You're looking at this fucking going, what is going on? But it's so cool, I don't care.
Exactly. It's like instead of like style over substance, it's style as substance. That's what I have to say.
That's how I feel with Suspiria. Although Suspiria has somewhat of a plot.
It does.
The girl walks into the razor wire room, and you're like, "What the hell? Where did that come from?"
Yeah.
The razor wire room, is that where all the ballet dancers going to clip their toenails or something? I don't know what that
is. Joe, have you seen The Beyond by Fulci? Right?
Yes.
That really, I remember seeing that in a movie theater. I think it was Quentin Tarantino and Sylvester Stallone's son, Sage, who was evidently like a really big Italian horror fan. They actually got a restored version of that, and it toured like the major cities. And I remember seeing it with like my goth girlfriend. And,
there you go.
We smoked a big fatty before we went in, and the audience to that, like, I was expecting it all to be like people like us, like horror fans, right? And it wasn't. It was like all hipsters. So I was like, yeah. So I was like, and
all
like
hipsters.
All hipsters, except for like a couple of freaks. Like it was like me, my girlfriend, and then there was like another friend of mine who showed up with his girl, and we were just like, yeah, Fulci, and everybody else was just like, like, what the heck is this? And it was just funny watching their reaction when they suddenly realized that movie didn't make a lick of sense.
No, it doesn't either. But the ending is awesome.
Oh, one of the best horror endings ever. And the audience, dude, let me tell you, this is what I loved. This really showed the power of film and how Fulci had dashes of brilliance. The audience was like laughing at that movie for the majority of it, but when that ending came, they shut the hell up. And you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah, it does. Hilarious.
But it's also just, I mean, I think a great horror moment because it's just so desolate. It's just
when they're at the end and they're in wherever it is, whatever dimension they're in, and you're just like, what the fuck just happened? It's great.
Yeah, but evidently, like it's because have you seen the Beyond?
Oh, man?
Preston? Yeah,
Preston, you seen it?
I can't remember. Like,
we're gonna have to smack you around, man.
Dude, I'm trying to remember. Like, the Beyond sounds familiar. And I'm trying to search my memory to like,
you'd remember if you'd seen it. You'd remember if you'd seen it.
I've seen a lot of horror, dude. Like, I mean, it's possible. I don't remember though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
did you ever see Zombie?
Zombie? Fuck, I can't remember.
What?
That's another one.
I'm gonna have to check it out, dude. Like, there's you guys educate me a little bit on a lot of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
here goes Brian.
Yeah.
I don't have.
I'm trying to think of other books I've done. If I can't think
seriously,
of them.
Man.
Well, I was looking on Comic Vine to see what else that you got up there, and they had fucking like Dark Angel Wheeler.
Oh, Wheeler! I did a lot of stuff in Italy. I did a lot of comics in Italy.
Really?
Yeah, I heard like
Yeah.
the Italians were mining like American artists for a while there to go ahead and do because
Yeah,
I used to meet a few at cons, you know.
We did Calvera. I made that one up. I made what she looks like up. A guy named what's his first name? Enrico Teodirani. He wrote them all, and he was big over there. And we did a lot of stuff. That was fun because I could do whatever I wanted. They didn't give a shit.
That's awesome.
And they paid you up front.
That's
Get out of
cool.
here.
That's cool. That's like
man.
unheard of, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
It looks like you did some work for Avatar Press too. Like you did Satan Serpent.
Yeah, I did Avatar. We did that indie comics thing. I think that had my son might have wrote that story.
Oh, you got kids?
I got a little boy. Or
Does
he's
he,
not little anymore.
Does he draw?
Yeah, he's more into street art. He likes like graffiti and stuff.
Nice. That's awesome.
But he's an artist. He's
That's
a real good writer.
Yeah. No,
Interesting.
weren't interested in
Oh, there's Broken Halo right there.
Yeah. I'm going to pick that up too, just so that you know. I don't know if you got copies that you want to sell me or, you know, because I'll look it up.
I don't got copies of nothing, dude.
Uh,
Nothing. I got to get a hold of Daryl Donald. He's the head of Broken Halos, and I want to see if he's got any. I want to buy all the Gunfighter collected that he has. I want to buy them all.
Well, me and you and Brian are going to talk after the show because you really need to get on crowdfunding.
Yeah, you do.
You know what I'm saying? Because you've
I don't know. I did one.
We can
For number 7 or number 6. We did. What's the thing what's it called? Where you get people to pitch in money to help your project. What's the big one?
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter. Yeah, I did a Kickstarter, and that thing we made our goal in like a day and a half.
Yeah.
But it was such a pain in the fucking ass because I had to do all sorts of other art, and there was so much work that you hardly got to work on the book.
Fuck, tell me about it. It's work, dude. I totally agree.
It is.
You know, but with Gunfighters, I mean, you got so much here. And to be honest, I mean, if you did like a big trade paperback of the original Gunfighters series and just kind of did a brand new cover and threw some extra art in there, that's something you can go on crowdfunding and make a ton of money. And honestly, people need to do that. Like Gunfighters, shit. And
Preston,
yeah,
Preston, you would do an alternate cover for that too.
We already talked about that.
All right.
Yeah, we talked about that. That's a good idea.
I knew it.
Yeah,
just
I was
checking
what I did for his brother. You know, me and his brother.
Oh yeah, that turned out great, dude.
And I want to do something like that with Joe because Joe, I'm seriously, I'm a huge fan of yours. You know, I'm a huge fan of Tim's too, and just stuff like this just blows my mind.
Man, I got the one I want you to do.
Nice.
I just got like I said, it's on one of these right here. Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also going to hire you.
I put it on one. I got to find it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love you guys' work. Like,
that was digital.
So inspiring. Yeah. But yeah, we have
the book you want to read, man. Dog.
I got to check out Dog. Like that's one of the ones I haven't checked out. Like,
is that one of the Italian ones?
No, that's not.
Tim thinks that was me when I was in the service. I said no. But
you was in a service?
Yeah, I was in the Air Force.
Oh, nice.
No kidding.
I wouldn't kid you guys.
You were a flyer?
No, I was a medic.
Okay.
Cool.
That's so weird.
That's another place that I got. Yeah, that's another place I got to see a lot of blood.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
No, I was just thinking because I mean the violence inside of your books. You know, it's like I would almost think that you were, like,
Exercising some demons.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's see, I had never heard of this before, and no offense, sir, I'd never heard of you before, and so I feel like I've just discovered like when you've like uncovered, it's like being a horror movie fan, you're always looking for like that buried treasure,
Right.
and I feel like Preston has discovered a buried treasure.
Joe, when did you put out Gunfighters?
What?
When did you put Gunfighters out? Like, how long ago?
Dog came out in 19. Oh wait, Fritz Whistle came out in 87. Dog came out in 89. Gunfighters, I think the first one was 91 or 92.
Yeah, Brian, it's been out for a while, dude.
I know.
I mean, there's different like versions because they did the collected for Broken Halo.
Yeah.
Then I've gone back and redid covers, and I'm putting them out as single issues again. But I like your idea of doing it as a collected again.
Well,
it'd be so badass.
Gunfighters off of Joe's website. Like, I'm looking at it here; it's all new covers, and I'm kind of a comic book Nazi, you know, not in the way that everybody thinks. Like, as far as like, I like my books. Like first printings, you know what I'm saying? The original covers, I like them signed by the creator, all that jazz. And although you can't get the ones that Brian's showing right now, but you can get Gunfighters with all new covers off of Joe's website. So Gunfighters 1 and 2, is that all 4 issues collected in both of these?
No, those are like. Issue 1 is issue 1. Issue 2 is, and number 3 is I've just put the files in. I just got to do a cover. Number 3 is coming out pretty soon.
And Dog, like on website, Dog, that's the whole series of Dog, right? And that one,
right? That's the whole series. That's 3 issues in there. But that was back when they were 30 pages an issue. So there's like a 90, almost 100 pages in that book.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like a Stephen King book.
This is what I like right here. Like Sinbuck, to me, like this has the potential to be another Vampirella or Lady Death or something like that because it's so goddamn cool. And I was blown away when I found out that you had a sequel to Gunfighters, you know? And and I can tell you right now, like I read all of these issues. You know, I ordered them straight from Joe, and dude, these things are incredible. Like he doesn't slack off on the artwork or anything. Like these things are really badass. Like,
me want
check these out. You know, unfortunately, Brian, I don't.
You read Original Sin, right?
I did.
Did you read that?
I did, and that's an awesome series too. Now, I got the first issue of Original Sin that you had put out with. It wasn't. Who was it? It wasn't Chaos. It was somebody. Maybe it might have been Chaos that you put it out like under Chaos's banner.
Right. Yeah, who did that? Wasn't that?
And then it said that the next issue was coming, but it never did come. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that that it was canceled. Like it just never got. Like it just left me on a cliffhanger. You know, and that's the chance you take whenever you collect indie books. But and then when I found this,
I think we broke out. We broke out from those guys, broke up with them, didn't do any more books from them. Then I finished the series.
Yeah.
And
see, that blew me away. When I figured that you when I learned that you had finished the series for Original Sin. Like I was like, you gotta be shitting me. Like Joe can tell you, like my first order from him, I ordered like 13 books.
Yep.
I mean,
he went out like, what the hell? All right.
Oh man, yeah. No, Preston loves his comics, man. You see, I've never been a comic book collector. I've always been a comic book reader. Preston
that was
is
like
the collector.
If I bought a issue 1 of something, I read that sumbitch until it fell apart, and people going, "You got to put it in a bag." Get out of here, man.
I do that. I do that
Me
too.
too.
You know, that's
Me
why I
too.
get 2 issues of #1. Like I'm that kind of a geek. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Right, one for reading and one like for a Mylar
one,
snug.
I don't just read it though. Like I keep it there. Like I got 2 issues of like Arthur Adams's X-Men and Asgard, right?
Oh,
One
hell
issue
yeah.
Right.
is literally falling apart because I study each page on how he did his panels and how he did his figures.
Oh, so
Stuff
good,
like
man.
that, you know. And to be quite honest, with all the detail you have in Gunfighters, like that's one of the reasons why I got 2 issues. As I'm studying your style, your backgrounds, and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And the amount of creativity, like I tell people, whenever you get a chance to be creative while creating a product, be creative.
Hell
And
yeah.
what I mean is like if you got a gunfighter and he's got bullets, make those bullets living things with mouths on them that chew through people.
We were just throwing all sorts of stuff into
Oh
it.
man, it is just wild.
It's crazy.
It's fun.
And yeah,
But,
there's something. I mean, it's dark, it's twisted, but it's also jolly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Thank Barber for that. Dave Barber, right there. He made all of it funny.
That's great.
Plus these
It was the right
demons,
choice.
these gunfighter demons you got on here, each one of them is like so unique, dude.
Yes.
They're like fucking metalheads with cowboy hats on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Hey, you got to remember that was in the 90s. That was punk time. We were all in punk.
Yep.
New wave was just ending.
And you said you colored all these, right? These are all digitally colored by you?
Yeah, I colored them all.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. I love all of them. Like I got copies of these. I got 2 copies of all these things. Yeah, this is fantastic. I tell you what, we're gonna go ahead and wrap the show up. And
Okay.
thanks for coming on, Joe. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah,
for coming on. You guys hang out.
That's
after
my
the show.
first time.
Yeah, we popped this cherry on
Yeah, man.
Rock and roll, man. Welcome to the wonderful, wacky world of live streaming, Joe.
Yeah, you're gonna love it because you're coming back. You'll be back.
Hopefully, your first time was a good one.
Yeah, that was fun. I had a good time.
I want to thank Genghis Khan, Hex Harper, Elton Borgs, and all you guys for hanging out in the chat. And Eddie, this is your type of stuff, dude. You got to check this out. And we talk to you guys later. Thanks for hanging out with us.
All right.